I want to talk about how I sell because this process for me, sales is a career, sales is a lifestyle, sales is a process that you continuously refine unless you, for some reason, think that you have become just too good at it. You've landed so much business in your life that you're too good at sales. You don't need any more refinement. You don't need to learn anything new. You don't need to try anything new. And my process has been refined through time. When I first started out, I had no idea what I was doing. So I took a very volume based approach. It was the more calls I make, the more times I try to speak to this person, the more times they hear my voice, the more I speak with them, the more likely they are going to work with me. Right. And that worked in the very beginning, but it was very annoying. I could be considered a pest because I would call somebody nearly every single day. And all I would do is they would pick up the phone and I'd say, "Hey, it's Adam. You ready to buy anything yet?" And if they said no, I'd say, "All right, thank you. Have a good day." And that was my approach. And the problem with that is I don't offer them anything. I just tell them that I have products and you use these products and I have these products and therefore we should work together. I should sell you these products. And there was no relationship. There was no ask for a need. There was no ask it for future planning, no development. There was no relationship building. There was no future value offering. There was no learning what they want, learning what they want to do. It was all just, here's what you use. I offer replacements. When you're looking to buy them, call me. And that puts you into a box of being just considered commoditized. You can commoditize anything that is mass replicated, or if you break it down to its simplest form. For example, transportation and trucking is a commodity. You can buy transportation anywhere. And there are people who are low price offerings, and then there's people who are not low price offerings. They're high cost offerings, but they offer something a little bit different because they don't make their pitch off of just moving the freight. They make the pitch off of something different. And my sales process has changed over time from being very high pressure, very high volume, very high pestilence, and just asking for the business all the time to a more consultative approach. I now call and say, I don't know if you're looking for exactly what I do. I know that you move freight across the country. I know that you have to move your products to your customers' docks in order for them to have it. If you're looking for someone who can help you plan for your future, insulate yourself from market shifts, insulate yourself from capacity shifts, and just want to build a solid carrier base utilizing a true broker, that is what I'm here for. I'm here to mitigate issues, mitigate risk, keep your costs stable throughout time. I'm not looking to move them up and down. I don't want to move with the market. So if you're looking to move with the market when it goes down, I'm not going to be here with you. And I just play it by feel as that goes out. And it's a very different approach because the people who are very cost sensitive and cost focused, not even cost sensitive, who just want the lowest price every single time, they may hear me out for a second, but they immediately write me off because I've now added that friction to the sales process, which is my goal. I only want to work with people who want the best service and who are not cost focused at all times of the day. Cost is important. You need to keep costs down. Everybody knows this. There is a cost to doing business, however. And if transportation and delivery of your product is just not important to you whatsoever, if you're just looking to keep costs low, then I'm not your broker. And that's perfectly okay. But I am somebody's broker because there's always two sides to every story. There are people who are more service focused. There are people who just want the job to be done correctly and they don't really care what it takes because their customers pay for it, or it's not a profit center for them to just get the lowest price and then quote higher. So it's more they want it done properly. They want it done correctly with somebody that they like, with somebody who they know is going to do the job well. And that is who I sell to. And that has changed over time. When I worked at big brokerage and it was you needed to land customers every single month, I was very bad at switching on and off because I was always aiming for the quick hit so that I could land this one this month so I didn't get fired and land another one this next month so I didn't get fired. So I used to land more business and volume wise. I used to have a higher customer count that I would land every single month. But as time has gone on, what I understood was if I wanted to land the great shippers, the ones who were relationship focused, the ones who weren't going to move away from me when times got tough, the ones who would actually dive deeper into me when times got tough, which I knew that they were heading for, I needed to sell different, which is why I took a more consultative approach. And I had to develop that within myself. I had to learn more about the market. I had to learn more about brokerage. I had to learn more about the business of trucking. I needed to learn more about the transportation markets. I needed to learn more about what impacts freight rates. And then I needed to understand why freight rates moved and how the market moves. And then I also needed to understand, is there a portion of the market that doesn't move with market rates? Are there people who just keep their rates steady? Is there people that just based off of their costs, they just quote you at a profit and they don't look to move with the market? And long story short, I was able to build a very great and valuable carrier network based off of those thoughts that I carried into every conversation that I went with forward. And because of that, I now sell different, I now work with different styles of clientele, and that just makes me happy. But that's how I sell. That's how I've progressed in my selling. And I'm not saying that I might not ever go back to the old form of selling, to the old Adam, for lack of better phrasing. But as of right now, I'm very happy with where I'm at. I'm very happy with the clients that I brought on. I'm very happy with the clients that I continue to speak with in the future for what could potentially be. And until something happens where my style no longer works, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.